Remember when a bedroom wasn't just a place to sleep, but a sanctuary filled with furniture that had been handed down, fabrics carefully chosen, and rituals that made the end of every day feel like something worth looking forward to? Today, we are uncovering 9 bedroom features your grandparents had that modern homes have completely forgotten, and every single one of them made daily life richer, warmer, and more intentional than anything a smart home device has ever managed to replicate. The first thing you noticed walking into a grandmother's bedroom was often a vanity table, a dedicated space with nothing to do with storage and everything to do with the quiet ritual of taking care of yourself. A mirror, a padded stool, and a surface arranged with a brush set, a powder box, and a small tray holding exactly the few items that mattered. Vanity tables became standard in American bedrooms during the 1920s and 1930s, peaking in the post-war years when manufacturers produced them in every style from simple pine to ornate mahogany. The morning and evening routines that happened there were not just about appearance. They were a few quiet minutes that belonged entirely to the person sitting down, a deliberate pause in a busy household that modern life has never found a replacement for. We swapped them for bathroom mirrors and cluttered countertops and lost something more valuable than the furniture itself. And if you think the vanity was the only bedroom piece that served a deeper purpose than storage, wait until you hear what sat at the foot of almost every bed in America for nearly half a century. The Cedar Chest was one of the most thoughtfully designed pieces of furniture ever produced for everyday use. Cedar's natural oils repel moths without any chemicals, and the airtight seal kept wool blankets, winter clothing, and fine linens fresh through years of storage. Lane Furniture was selling between 250 and 300 cedar chests every single day by 1930, which tells you exactly how essential they were considered. Today, we use plastic bins and vacuum bags that do a functional job but carry none of the warmth of opening a cedar chest and breathing in that unmistakable scent that meant everything inside was safe and exactly where it belonged. Do you remember the smell of your grandmother's cedar chest, or did your family have one that was passed down? Tell us in the comments, because those stories are exactly the kind of history worth keeping. The cedar chest protected what grandparents stored, but what they chose to display on top of their dresser told an equally personal story, and it involved something most people today have never even heard of. The dresser scarf was a long, narrow piece of embroidered or crocheted fabric that covered the dresser surface and provided a stage for the objects that told a family's story: a framed photograph, a watch dish, a brush set that had been a wedding gift. Women produced them in enormous quantities through the 1940s and 1950s, many making their own as both a practical skill and a creative outlet. When minimalist design arrived, dresser scarves vanished, along with the personal storytelling they supported, and bedrooms became cleaner and emptier and somehow less alive than the rooms they replaced. But if the dresser scarf transformed the surface of a room, what grandmothers chose to put on the bed itself transformed everything else, and it is something you will simply not find in any modern home goods store. The chenille bedspread was the defining textile of the mid-century American bedroom, tufted in patterns from simple geometrics to elaborate peacocks and florals that could take a skilled worker hours to complete. Dalton, Georgia became known as the chenille capital of the world during the 1940s and 1950s, lining its roadsides with bedspreads hung out for passing motorists to buy. Thick enough to feel substantial, soft enough to sleep under without a separate blanket, and distinctive enough that anyone who grew up with one can still describe exactly what it felt like. We replaced it with duvets that are faster to wash, and the bedroom lost a layer of craftsmanship that a plain white cover has never come close to replacing. Which of these bedroom features do you remember most clearly from your grandparents' home? Leave your answer in the comments below. A beautiful bedroom meant nothing if you could not stay warm in it, and the solution grandparents used on cold winter nights was so simple and so effective it is almost embarrassing that we stopped using it. Before central heating reached most American homes, the hot water bottle was a bedroom essential used with absolute reliability. A rubber bottle filled from the kettle and slipped between the sheets 10 minutes before bedtime meant that climbing into a cold bed in winter became something to look forward to rather than dread. Doctors regularly recommended them throughout the first half of the 20th century for muscle pain, cramps, and general comfort during illness. Central heating made them unnecessary, but nothing it produces has ever replicated the specific personal comfort of a warm spot waiting for you in an otherwise cool bed on a January night. Staying warm was one thing grandparents understood better than we do, but what they put under their feet every morning showed an equally lost level of care, one that most modern bedrooms have abandoned completely without even noticing. The handmade hooked rug beside the bed was a fixture in American bedrooms through the mid-20th century, often made by the grandmother herself using wool scraps pulled through a burlap backing with a simple hook. These rugs kept bare feet off cold floors on winter mornings, but they also told a story through their patterns, flowers, animals, and geometric designs chosen specifically for the room they lived in. The craft peaked between the 1880s and 1950s before factory-made bath mats replaced them entirely. We buy identical beige rectangles from big box stores today, and the bedroom lost another small piece of personality it will not easily recover. From the floor to a feature that occupied the corner of almost every grandmother's bedroom and served a purpose that has completely disappeared from modern home design. The bedroom fireplace was a standard feature of American homes built before central heating, and in colder climates it was not decorative but essential. Small cast iron or tile surround fireplaces allowed each bedroom to be independently heated, and lighting the evening fire was as much part of the bedtime routine as turning down the sheets. Many were fitted with decorative mantles that held a clock, a mirror, and seasonal arrangements that changed through the year. We sealed them up and covered them over when central heating arrived, and bedrooms lost both their most powerful focal point and a nightly ritual that made the end of the day feel genuinely complete. That same intentional approach to ending the day carried into a ritual that grandparents observed without exception every single night, and sleep researchers are only now beginning to say we should bring it back. The act of turning down the bed was a deliberate evening ritual, folding the top sheet and bedspread back at an angle and sometimes placing a small item on the pillow, a mint, a handkerchief, a prayer card. It created a clear psychological boundary between the activity of the day and the rest of the night, signaling to everyone in the household that the evening was winding down and sleep was coming. We pull back a duvet and fall into bed scrolling through a phone, and the calm boundary that Turndown Ritual once created has dissolved entirely, along with the depth of sleep that followed it. Did your grandparents have any of these bedroom rituals that you still think about today? Share your memory in the comments below. And if the Turndown Ritual prepared the room for sleep, there was one final piece of bedroom furniture that made the hours before sleep genuinely restorative, something so simple that modern bedrooms have no real equivalent for it at all. The bedroom reading chair was a dedicated upholstered armchair positioned near a window or beside a lamp specifically for evening reading, common in American homes through the 1950s and 1960s. It was not a chair that doubled as somewhere to pile clothes or serve as a secondary desk. It was a chair for sitting and reading, and its presence was a physical commitment to the idea that rest included quiet reflection before sleep. Wing chairs, slipper chairs, and small club chairs were the most common styles, and many families kept the same chair for decades. We sleep in bedrooms furnished with a bed, 2 nightstands, and a television, and the reading chair has disappeared along with the habit it supported and the quality of rest that followed it. These 9 bedroom features were not just design choices. They were expressions of how grandparents believed every room should feel, serving the person living in it with warmth and intention rather than just efficiency. We gained easier maintenance and faster mornings, but we gave up bedrooms that felt genuinely personal and invited rest rather than just providing a place for it. Which of these would you bring back into your bedroom today? Tell us in the comments below, and subscribe to Vintage America Tales for more stories of the American ingenuity we left behind.